Science is supposed to explain the world, not make it more terrifying, right? But sometimes the deeper we dig into reality, the more unsettling the truth becomes. Here are 10 times science uncovered something terrifying. Trust me, these could haunt your dreams. The 200-million-year-old fungus. In the forests of eastern Oregon, scientists discovered something colossal and creepy. In 1998, researchers with the U.S. Forest Service uncovered a massive Armillaria ostoyae fungus spanning over 2,385 acres. Nicknamed the humongous fungus, it's not just big, it's ancient, estimated to be over 2,000 years old and possibly even 8,000. The giant organism lives mostly underground, feeding off trees and slowly killing the forest from below. It's a parasitic predator that spreads through root systems, making it one of the largest and oldest living things on Earth. But the terrifying part, it's still growing. It looks innocent on the surface, but beneath the soil lies a silent, spreading killer. The real zombie parasite. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi horror flick, a parasite that takes over the host's mind. But for ants infected with Ophicordyceps unilateralis, it's very real. Once inside the ant, the fungus hijacks its nervous system, compelling it to climb up vegetation and clamp down before the fungus bursts out of the ant's head. The terrifying spectacle is common in tropical forests, and scientists studying it in the early 2000s were horrified at how precise the control was. It doesn't just kill the ant, it programs it to die in a perfect location for fungal spore dispersal. It's mind controlled by biology, and it raises questions about how far nature can go in rewriting behavior. The doomsday glacier that's falling apart. In 2021, scientists observing Antarctica's Thwaites Glacier, nicknamed the Doomsday Glacier, revealed troubling news. The ice shelf holding it back was shattering. This glacier holds enough water to raise global sea levels by over 3 meters. And it's melting at an alarming rate. What scared researchers wasn't just the melting though, it was how quickly the structural integrity was deteriorating. Satellites and submersible robots showed the glacier was fracturing from beneath, with warm water funneling in like a knife through butter. If it collapses completely, it could redraw coastlines and displace millions. Science didn't just observe this, it sounded the alarm. The human microbiome is watching? When researchers began mapping the human biome in the 2010s, they didn't expect to find that we're vastly outnumbered. For every human cell in your body, there are 10 microbial cells, bacteria, viruses, and fungi. In fact, your body plays host to more foreign DNA than human DNA. But it gets worse. Recent studies show that gut bacteria may influence your thoughts and behavior. Depression, anxiety, and cravings. They might not all come from your brain, but from trillions of microbes pulling your strings. It's not just your body, they might be steering your mind. In trying to understand ourselves, science revealed a terrifying question. Who's really in control? SCP real? The Havana Syndrome mystery. In 2016, US diplomats in Cuba began reporting strange symptoms, headaches, dizziness, and a weird noise that seemed to come from nowhere. What sounded like a Cold War-era sci-fi plot soon turned serious. Brain scans revealed real damage. Researchers suggested the cause might be directed microwave energy, something not publicly known to be weaponized at that scale. Scientists were stunned. If this tech exists, it opens the door to undetectable attacks that leave no trace except a scrambled brain. The fact that we still don't fully understand it only makes it worse. The fear here isn't ghosts, it's invisible weapons science might have only just begun to uncover. The sound of the deep, the bloop. In 1997, underwater microphones picked up something bizarre in the southern Pacific Ocean. A low-frequency sound so loud, it was detected over 3,000 miles away. Scientists called it the bloop. At first, they thought it might be an enormous marine creature, sparking theories of sea monsters and deep-sea leviathans. While the official explanation in 2005 pointed to ice quakes, the sound's unusual frequency still haunts oceanographers. Why? Because nothing biological that massive has ever been seen. It reminds us that the ocean, covering over 70% of the planet, is still largely unexplored. And who knows what might still be calling from the dark. Consciousness after death. In 2014, researchers at the University of Southampton conducted a massive study on near-death experiences. What they found defied scientific logic. Some patients who were clinically dead, no heartbeat, no brain activity, still reported detailed memories and awareness. One patient accurately described what was happening around him for several minutes after his heart had stopped. Scientists were rattled. If brain activity ceases, how is this possible? The study involving over 2,000 cardiac arrest patients forced a reevaluation of what it means to be dead. The scariest part, we might not know what death really is. Project Starfish Prime. In 1962, the US government detonated a 1.4 megaton hydrogen in space. Codenamed Starfish Prime, this high-altitude nuclear test shocked scientists. It created an artificial aura seen across the Pacific and knocked out satellites. But what truly scared researchers was how much they underestimated the blast. Radiation from the explosion damaged electronics thousands of miles away. Scientists had unleashed forces they barely understood in the vacuum above Earth. And they realized, had things gone just a bit differently, they could have crippled global communications or worse. The experiment showed just how little we truly control the tech that we create. The brain remains active after losing your head. In 2011, researchers studying historical execution records and modern experiments found evidence that the brain may remain conscious for seconds after somebody's head is... Eyewitnesses from the French Revolution claimed that heads blinked and showed emotion post-execution. Later experiments with animals showed similar activity. The horror? For a few agonizing seconds, the brain may still be aware of what happened. Scientists can't ethically test this directly on humans, of course, but EEG tests in rats decapitated for research shows spikes in brain activity just before and after. It forces a chilling question: how long does consciousness actually last? Are we in a simulation? One of the most mind-bending and terrifying scientific debates of the last 2 decades comes from theoretical physics and philosophy. Scientists like Nick Bostrom and even Elon Musk have proposed that we might be living in a computer simulation. The idea isn't fantasy, it's backed by real logic. If technology advances far enough to simulate consciousness, and if it's likely many such simulations exist, then statistically we're probably inside of one. In 2021, researchers at Fermilab tried to test the limits of cosmic rays to find the code. While they didn't confirm anything, the mere fact that this experiment is being taken seriously means one thing: reality might not be real. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this, be sure to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe because you will not want to miss what's next. Thanks again.